Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks. Thank you for listening. Michael Jackson singing his way into the episode today because, you know, I was a big Michael Jackson fan. Josh, you were a Michael Jackson fan.
Of course.
And Michael Jackson died 7 years ago yesterday. And I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. Everybody remembers where they was when Michael Jackson died. Josh, where were you when Michael Jackson died?
I was at home, and I remember going to work that day, and I remember talking about it, and I mean, Michael Jackson was a huge influential artist to many, and he played a big role in my teenage years.
Yeah, he was a big icon. He had a lot of good songs. What was your favorite song?
Oh, my favorite song, maybe Dirty Diana.
Dirty Diana, really?
Yeah.
Everybody had a favorite Michael Jackson song.
Mm-hmm.
I liked a lot of songs that he did. It's hard to really pick, but if I had to pick a favorite Michael Jackson song, it would probably have to be Scream. He did it with his sister, Janet, but that was my favorite song that he did. I loved it. I like Jam. He did that with Michael Jordan, which was a big... I
remember you showing me that a couple weeks ago, and that was very special. It reminded me a lot of Space Jam.
I mean, you had Michael Jordan and you had Michael
You guys
Jackson.
Had the MJs.
You had the MJs, you had the Michaels. What about that? Both of them being named Michael.
Yes.
Speaking of the NBA Finals, Josh, was just a couple weeks ago.
And we both got our predictions wrong. Didn't we both believe in the Cavs there? I mean, the Warriors. I believed in the Warriors.
If you go back and you listen to it, and I said if I could flip a coin and it would be whoever, and then you said no pick, and then I said the Cavs.
Oh, okay.
So I did pick
forgot.
the Cavs. So again, just like last year, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Banks from Off the Cuff picked the correct team to win the NBA championship.
Didn't you pick the Thunder in the very beginning? Okay, but you were saying once the finals
Yeah,
came
once the
along.
finals came, I picked the Thunder to win. Billy Donovan disappointed me. So did Russie. So did Kevin Durant. But I guess they're going to be back next year.
Before we speak on a Thunder trade, let's talk a little more about that championship. I want to talk about that Thunder trade too, though. But
that Thunder
what an
trade,
incredible championship.
LeBron James is third.
It basically came down to 3 points. If you followed the series close enough, folks, coming up to 6 games, the score was tied 600 and something to 600 and something. So at the end of the game, or at the end of the series, the total points scored was like 703 to like 699 or something ridiculous. That was it. 3 points decided this. So that is how close to the series this was. LeBron came back from 3-1 and has really said, I'm the best player right now.
Does this solidify him being the best player?
Easily right now. Easily. He not only did he do that, he led all statistical categories from both teams in rebounds, blocks, assists, points. He led all those categories. He was first and on both teams. And then one more thing I want to mention, and then I'll quit mentioning all the stats. One last stat. No one has won Game 7 in the NBA Finals on the road since the 1978 Boston Celtics. That's how difficult this is to do, folks, to win Game 7 on the road in the finals. That crowd plays that might as well be your sixth man.
Well, I tell you what, LeBron James has solidified his place as being the best player in the world. He is the best player in the NBA, of course, no doubt. And right now, he could go down as being one of the greatest of all time. Is he the greatest of all time?
Not yet, of course. But what would you put him in your top 5 now? I put him in my top 5.
He's definitely in my top 5.
He goes on your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. Yeah, he goes on my Mount Rushmore. If I had to, I'm going to put, can I tell you my Mount Rushmore?
Please do. I guess I'll share mine next.
There's 4 on Mount Rushmore?
Correct.
Is there 4?
Or is it 5?
Why don't you look that up really quick so I don't look like an idiot here? I probably already sound like an idiot because I don't know how many people are on Mount Rushmore. Okay, so of course, should he be first? Should it be ranked or should it just be I should name the player and tell you where they are?
We're not ranking. We're going to
just the Mount Rushmore. Okay, Michael Jordan's up there.
Okay.
Now it gets tough. LeBron James is up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to put...
There's only 4 on Mount Rushmore.
4, okay. So I'm going to have to put Larry Bird up there. And then the 4th player, I'm going to have to put... So we got Jordan, Larry Bird,
LeBron James.
and LeBron James. In the 4th, one of the best of all time. That's, I mean...
so many choices. You've got Tim Duncan, you've got Hakeem Olajuwon, you've got Kobe Bryant, you've got Isaiah Thomas, you've got Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who do you choose?
I don't know. And do you pick LeBron over Kobe? It's one of those things. I don't know. I'm going to have to say Shaquille O'Neal is going to have to go because he was the best big man of all time.
Dark horse. You got to include a big man. All right, that's the rule.
You do. Now yours.
Okay, so I have to include a big man.
Yeah, go ahead, 4.
I'm going to change my big man to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
So, Michael Jordan, of course.
Okay.
I shouldn't have went ahead of. I should have never named anyone before Michael Jordan. Probably. I guess LeBron James is on there after what he just did.
Right, and then your 4th one.
Just for that, folks. Not because of what he's done in the past. It's because just for that series right there. That he literally came back from 3-1 and all those other random things I mentioned.
And then your 4th.
And my 4th would... I guess it's going to have to be, my favorite ball player. I'm going to have to go with him. I'm going to have to throw him on my Mount Rushmore. Kobe Bryant is going to have to be my 4th player. But Kobe is almost, between him and LeBron, they're the toss-up on who's last on that list almost. Yeah. I put Kareem and Michael.
So the NBA, so congratulations to the
Cleveland Cavaliers. Did you see the parade? Did you see pictures?
No.
You know how many people attended?
No, I don't care because I don't like the Cleveland Cavaliers, so of course I didn't watch. So 1.4 million. Congratulations to the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James. Congratulations on you. You did fine. I think you did excellent at proving your point. You keep declaring.
The haters are getting quieter.
Yes. You are putting a sock in the mouth of your haters. So the NBA draft
happened this past Thursday.
It happened this past Thursday. I love the NBA draft. It's my favorite draft. It's better than the NFL draft, no doubt.
NFL draft's too long to watch.
It's boring. The draft I like. The whole setup of the draft. I like how they only do the first round on television. They could have a better looking commissioner. Adam Silver's he's terrible. He looks sick. Does he not look sick?
He looks sick. Thin.
He looks a little thin. He just
looks older.
Yeah, he looks older.
Way older than what he is.
David Stern, he had that, swag about it.
I remember there was one clip of David Stern, maybe my most favorite clip of David Stern, is he's in the green room, I think, with LeBron James, and LeBron hands him his sports coat. And LeBron's about to get drafted, and David Stern puts on his sports coat, and you can only imagine how ridiculous David Stern looks with LeBron James' sports coat on. It's all white. And it doesn't fit him.
Yeah.
So he had a little bit more comical sense about him.
He had a better sense of humor. Adam Silver, he has conducted himself pretty well so far as the commissioner.
Yes, but he's still, almost in his second year or something. Like he's got to find his ground and get comfortable. David Stern was in that position for years, and he was so comfortable, and it just showed.
And the thing, David Stern got lucky. Michael Jordan got drafted right when.
Very true.
Right when he took over.
Some forget that.
And he became he became the. He helped them build the NBA. So,
Ben Simmons went first.
Ben Simmons went first.
What do you think about that pick? Was that who you would have chose first?
No, I think he has terrible work ethic. He's a slacker. He quit school. He didn't even have the decency to finish out his year at LSU.
Who do you pick first?
Who do I pick first? I pick Jamal Murray. I think he's going to be a pick who is going to really flourish in the NBA. NBA is a shooting game. It's an offensive league, and Jamal Murray is an offensive player, and he's good.
It's not a bad pick. I think I picked somebody else first too. I almost gamble and take somebody like Buddy or someone like Jamal Murray. To be honest, they show more offensive flavor to their game. These folks, Brandon Ingram and Ben Simmons, I don't know if they can make it in the NBA.
Well,
so
we'll see. Who do you think got the best pick? Who do you think got the best steal, I guess you could say? I'll tell you who I think. I think the person who got the best steal in the draft was the Phoenix Suns. They got Tyler Ulis, second round.
A Kentucky fan spoken from the heart.
Yeah, because, I don't know. If the Phoenix Suns, they're up to something. They have a lot of guards. They have way too many guards on their team, and they picked up Tyler Ulis. He's another guard, but he's the most authentic guard they have. I think that the Spurs should have picked him up. They needed somebody to back up Tony Parker. He's getting old, and Tyler Ulis would have been perfect for that. But Tyler Ulis, whoever got him, got the steal. So,
okay.
And the worst pick was also from the Phoenix Suns when they picked Skal Labissière as a draft pick.
Yeah, but he also, he
got traded.
He got traded to the Kings. But who took the best pick? I don't know if I can answer that, to be honest. I would either say...
would you say Ben Simmons?
No, because it doesn't fit the role, and we've already discussed it. We don't think he was the first overall.
So Jamal Murray, you think then, or Buddy Hield?
Jamal Murray, Buddy Hield, or we've got to see how Brandon Ingram works out. I'm trying to be hopeful for the Lakers. What I keep telling people is there's only one Kevin Durant. Okay, he's the exact same thing. I've never seen another Kevin Durant. I've never seen a player that thin, that successful. I sure hope he can be.
Well, it will be interesting to see.
Before we finish up with the draft talk, let's talk about that Thunder trade. Do you know the trade yet?
I want to know the trade,
okay,
because
so I was trade to you over the air.
I was traveling.
This is great.
I was traveling.
We'll get to that in a moment. We've got stories to talk about.
Go ahead.
So they traded Serge Ibaka. They're going to keep Enes Kanter and Steven Adams as their new big men.
Okay.
Which I like.
I love.
They're getting Victor Oladipo from the Magic. If you remember him, he is the 360 king from the dunk contest. He played for Indiana, and he averages probably 15 points a game for Orlando as a shooting guard, and that is what they were missing, folks. Now you've got a dynamic backcourt in Russell Westbrook and Victor Oladipo.
It's because Billy Donovan is running the show.
I like the trade. I think it's a fantastic trade.
He has a say-so.
I don't know what the Magic are doing, though. They've got too many bigs now.
Just like the Suns have too many guards. I don't know what it is, but that's basketball is officially over.
You're thinking if you're KD, do you go somewhere now?
Yeah,
I think you resign.
No, I think you resign. I think you got to resign. You got Russ. I mean, you just got an awesome
you
trade.
Play better.
You just got an awesome trade. You got Russell Westbrook. You got Coach Donovan. You got to stay. You almost made it to the championship game. You almost
should
beat
have.
the Thunder.
You should have made it to the championship. And you know what? If you played like you did against the Warriors, you would have beat the Cavs.
Yeah,
you would have beat the Cavs.
But basketball is over.
It is.
That's very sad. You know what else is sad?
What's that?
Basketball legend Pat Summitt, coach of the University of Tennessee women's basketball. Without a shadow of a doubt, and nobody would ever argue with this point, is she is the greatest female basketball coach of all time. And she is on her deathbed today. They have already announced the news stories of her dying. They told her family to say their goodbyes. I don't know. Do you think they've called hospice in or what's going on? She suffers from the disease Alzheimer's, and that is a disease that just eats at your brain. It really eats at your memory. And I think it's one of the saddest diseases that you could ever get because you actually forget your loved ones. And
can't recognize people.
And Pat Summitt, who had a life like she did with her family and her kids and her career, she doesn't remember that. That's very tragic.
What a great life she lived, and she can't even remember it.
She was a legend, and she left behind a legacy. I don't know how many championships she's had. If you could look that up, all you have to do is how many rings.
Ask the producer. That's his job.
Ask the producer. Producer, find us how many rings Pat Summitt won. I say rings. She won rings, but how many championships she's won? Mm-hmm. But do you think Pat Summitt could have coached in
the men's league? Oh, yes.
The league of the men? Do you think she could go against the men?
She could coach maybe the college or, maybe even try out in the NBA. Why not?
I think she could.
Why not?
I think she could.
Someone that's successful?
But I think she has the X's and O's to coach. But I don't know if she would actually be successful if she was the only female coaching in the NBA, because it would be hard to recruit.
It would.
It would be hard for a woman to show up at your door when you got charismatic people like Donovan and.
The producer just told me how many championships she's won, folks. And for those of you who don't know, she's won 8 NCAA championships. That's just incredible.
She's won 8, and that's not to mention how many times, Josh, she went to the championship and the Final Four.
Not only that, she's won the championships in 3 different decades. She's won them in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. She's won the SEC championships 16 times.
Yeah. Does it have her age listed on that screen? Does it have her age of how old she is? She's young. She's not old at all.
She's 64.
That's young. 64. She's about to
die. Yeah, but that's almost average. The average lifespan of a woman is only 70, and a man is 65.
No, you're wrong.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up because
we'll get the producer.
We'll get the producer to look it up because that is producer. Please prove Josh wrong, because if you live to 80. That's about the average lifespan. But it's very sad news in the basketball world. Very
average
sad
lifespan of a human is 71 years old. 73 years and 6 months for females, and it looks like that the average is 73 for males as well. No, 70 for males, yes.
Okay, so Josh, I had a huge weekend. I had to go out of town and present a lecture. I left Friday night at 7:30 p.m., but I was sick. I was home. It
must have been rough to do that.
Yeah, I had a migraine, and my head was hurting. I had to call into work on Thursday. I had to call into work on Friday because I was feeling bad. But I still had to do this lecture on Friday night, and the lecture just so happened to be at the beach in South Carolina. So it was awesome. It was at a community college.
You were just helping speak for a friend, right?
Correct.
Isn't that right? He called you, and what was it about again?
He called me up. He wanted me to give a speech.
For his class.
He wanted me to give a speech. Really, no, it wasn't to his class. It was to his faculty. It was like a faculty development. He is a campus director out there, and he wanted me to go out there and give a lecture for his faculty, and it was on persuasive speech. So I went out there and did that. It was a great time, Josh. I flew. Flying today is so much better than it was 20 years ago. It was only 58 minutes. It's up and it's down. It's crazy, and I love it. But, sometimes when you are landing into Myrtle Beach or you're taking off from Myrtle Beach, because that's where it was, you sometimes have to fly over the ocean.
Yes.
You have to, whether it's taken off, you have to maybe turn around, but you're over the ocean. Have you ever had to take a trip where you've flown a long time over the ocean? Where was that
Hawaii.
at? Hawaii. Okay. That's a long time. That's a if you looked at a map, it looks flat. It looks like it's just like right there connected to the United States, but it's not. It's if you look at a globe, you can see it's hours. I went to Ecuador, South America, even longer. A long time away. So it makes me think, when you're flying over the ocean or you're flying over land, it's always in the back of my mind that what would happen if the plane went down and crashed? Because I was almost in a plane crash. And it made me wonder, would it be better to crash on land or would it be better to crash on water?
Yes.
Yes, what?
I would think it'd be better to crash on land.
Why?
Just because of the fact that somehow the plane could sink, of course, while you're trying to escape or while the crash happens. There's no guarantee that you're just going to float. When you hit that water going so fast, parts of the plane's going to fly off, and be damaged.
Good point, but I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to have to say that if I was flying, I would rather the plane crash in the ocean because it gives us if it crashes on land, you're dead. You're going to die. The plane's going to crash into the ground. It's going to blow up. If you crash in the ocean, you could skip the plane like a rock, or you could land the plane by sliding on the ocean and then letting the drafts out and letting the flotation devices out, and we could all float around until help comes.
So we actually discussed this earlier before the show, and we even went as far as look it up online. And what Banks described is kind of what we found, but also there was much agreeing with landing on land and much just disagreeing that you should land in the water. That it became a 50-50 pretty much. We really couldn't find a good enough answer, but there was funny answers like skipping like a rock, and that makes sense.
Who knows what it would be? I would hate to crash either way. I would hate to crash either way. Of course, that would be one of the most
scariest things to ever live.
That's one of my biggest fears. If you fly a lot, like one of my biggest fears is a plane crash.
What would be your Mount Rushmore fears?
My Mount Rushmore fears. That's a good question. My 4 worst ways to die.
Yes.
I'm going without even ranking. Definitely, I'm going to have to throw up there with number 1. No doubt would be to burn. I think burning would be the absolute worst.
How long does that take?
Way to die. Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter. So burning is up there. Plane crash would be a commercial plane crash for sure. And that would be number 2. Or just up there. Also, another terrible way to die would be, I don't know, like brutally murdered would be a terrible way to die. Maybe tortured. That's definitely up there. And drowning. I would hate to drown. I would hate to suffocate.
Okay.
You? What a morbid question, Josh.
It just kind of came to me, Definitely a tornado. Getting caught in one.
Are you serious? That's
I don't know why.
Random,
most random
ways.
Tornadoes.
Okay.
I still have nightmares to this day.
All right,
getting
Dorothy.
Caught in a tornado almost.
But just think, you might get to meet the wizard and the scarecrow and the lion.
And come back to life, yes, and tap my shoes.
There you
anyway, my second thing would probably be, not ranking them in order, but
up
flights.
there.
Yeah, landing and crashing in an airplane.
Okay.
Another one I just thought of while you were talking, because I had a little more time to think while you were naming yours. Dying like someone does in the Holocaust era, in gas chambers and being tortured. And
okay, so that's the same thing as me.
Brutally murdered almost. But,
yes.
but I'm talking gas chambers where you're just just sitting there and, just slowly kills you. You're just sitting there slowly inhaling, and all of a sudden, everybody's just dying off around you.
Yeah.
And you don't know when your time's coming.
Okay.
Fourth, I guess probably burning.
Yeah. So we had the same exact Mount Rushmore of fears of death.
Did we?
Except the tornadoes.
Except the tornado.
I had a drowning up there.
Yes, and I didn't mention that one, but that's definitely high up on my list.
Oh, could you imagine being out in the ocean with nothing around you, drowning? It would be a terrible
Shark
feeling.
attack. That's another one.
We'll get our producer in there, Josh. Will you type him a little message on your little iPad to him to play us something, because he looks like he's not paying any attention back there.
Yeah, you know how he is.
Get him to play some Michael Jackson.
We're gonna end on Michael again, you think?
Yeah, we got to end on Michael. It's been 7 years since the King of Pop passed away, so we'll end with some Michael Jackson.
You remember what his number one album was? I think that's what we should probably play.
It was Thriller, but we don't need to play Thriller. We need to play my favorite song, Scream. That was with him and his sister Janet. But Josh, I want to thank you for doing the show.
Of course, always a pleasure, Adam. Thanks for having me.
It's no problem at all. And we'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, on the next episode. I'm Adam Banks. We'll see you later. We'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next episode. I'm Adam Banks. We'll see you later.